Hare Krishna. Om Jnana-timirandasya Jnana-shalakalaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manupishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapanam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Kamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Shahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Shavadutam Varijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Deva Sri Radha Krishna Padan Samagana Lalita Sri Visakam Vitansha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bindhu Jagapati Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namaste Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamavali Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripasindhubhya Eva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama. Welcome to all the devotees to our final discussion on the nectar of devotion on this Bhakti Sastri course. Yes, so today we will discuss the last two chapters of the first wave, yeah, the first wave of the nectar of devotion. So as we know in the beginning, we discussed that the nectar of devotion is compared just like ocean, which has four parts in it, yeah, four sides in it. So the first 19 chapter is considered to be the eastern part, yes, of the nectar of devotion. So today we will finally discuss chapter 18 and 19. So as we know that Srila Rupa Goswami explained in great details from uh, the first chapter, up to chapter 16, how he described the 64 angas of bhakti and giving different quotes of different Sastra, giving evidences to support how important are these 64 angas of bhakti. Yeah. And he concluded by mentioning that amongst the 64 angas, there are five main potent, the most potent angas of bhakti. Yeah. And then in chapter 17, Goswami explained about the bhava bhakti. Yeah. So basically, bhakti can be divided into three: the sadhana bhakti, bhava bhakti, and prema bhakti. Yeah. So from chapter 1 to 16, we're discussing about sadhana bhakti. Yeah. And then chapter 17 and 18, we'll be discussing about bhava bhakti. Yeah. So in our previous class, we have discussed chapter 17 about bhava bhakti. What is bhava bhakti? Yeah. So today, chapter 18 is actually a further elaboration on bhava bhakti. What are the symptoms of those who have achieved the level of bhava bhakti? So Srila Rupa Goswami explained there are 9 symptoms of those who are achieving the bhava bhakti. Yeah. So characteristic of one in ecstatic love. What's going on here? Oh. This important chapter examines the characteristics of a person who has developed ecstatic love. By studying them carefully, one will understand the difference between the ecstatic love of a genuine devotee and the so-called ecstatic symptoms of a pretender. Rupa Goswami next describes the characteristic of a person who has actually developed his ecstatic love for Krishna. The characteristics are as follows. He is always anxious to utilize his time in devotional service of the Lord. He does not like to be idle. He wants service always, 24 hours a day without deviation. Yeah. So the person who has obtained the Bhava Bhakti will not waste his time. Yeah. Number two, he's always reserved and perseverant. He is always detached from all material attraction. He does not long for any material respect in return for his activities. He is always certain that Krishna will bestow his mercy upon him. He is always very eager to serve the Lord faithfully. He is very much attached to the chanting of the holy names of the Lord. He is always eager to describe the transcendental qualities of the Lord. And the last one is, he is very pleased to live in a place where the Lord's pastimes are performed, such as Mathura, Vrindavan, or Dwaraka. So these are the 9 symptoms or characteristic of a person who has developed the Bhava Bhakti. Yeah, further, Srila Prabhupada explained utilization of time. An unalloyed devotee who has developed ecstatic love for Krishna is always engaging his words in reciting prayers to the Lord. Within the mind, he is always thinking of Krishna, and with his body, he either offers obeisances by bowing down before the deity or engages in some other service. During these ecstatic activities, he sometimes shed tears. In this way, his whole life is engaged in the service of the Lord, with not a moment wasted on any other engagement. Okay. And then perseverance. When a person is undisturbed, even in the presence of various causes of disturbance, he is called reserved and perseverant. An example of this perseverance and reservation is found in the behavior of King Pariksit, as described in the first canto, 19th chapter, verse 15 of Srimad Bhagavatam. The king says that there to all the sages present before him at the time of his death, my dear Brahmanas, you should always accept me as your surrendered servant. I have come to the bank of the Ganges just to devote my heart and soul unto the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. Yeah. So these are the first 2 things explained here, that a person who has developed Bhava Bhakti never wastes his time, not even a moment. Yeah, using his word, using his body, using his mind, 24 hours. Always eager to search the opportunity for the service of the Lord. Yes, this is actually very nicely exemplified by Ambarish Maharaj in the 9th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Yeah. How he's actually never was a moment in his life that being wasted. Yeah. All the time he's always engaged. And not only using his body, but using everything that he has, you know, especially his wealth. Yeah. And then regarding perseverance or being reserved, that means that's actually the test, how we can measure how much we are advanced in Krishna consciousness. Yeah. Amidst of difficulties, if we remain faithful devotee of the Lord, so that is called reserve, yeah, or perseverance. Yeah. So we are not being discouraged in our devotional service when there is disturbances. Well, sometimes we are chanting the holy name so happily because our life seems to be perfect and nice. Everything is smooth. Yes, everything is provided by the Lord. But when it comes to miseries or calamity in life, whether we will remain faithful on the process of Krishna consciousness or we leave Krishna consciousness practice. So that is a test. Yes. But those who are already developed within his heart the ecstatic love for Krishna, doesn't matter what happened. Yes. Srila Prabhupada gave the example here, just like Pariksit Maharaj. Yeah. Imagine if you are cursed by someone that you will die within 7 days. What would you plan? You know, what would you plan? Maybe you will withdraw all the money that you have and enjoy it, right? Maybe, yeah. But a pure devotee like Pariksit Maharaj, well, the best thing he did is that he just left the kingdom and turned his own son, who is already being trained. Yes. So make his son the next king. And then he just leave the kingdom, went to the banks of Ganges and just hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam until he's leaving the body. Yeah. So this is called perseverance, not being agitated, especially in the midst of miseries. Next is detachment. The senses are always desiring sense enjoyment, but when the devotee develops transcendental love for Krishna, the senses are no longer attracted by material desires. Emperor Bharat provides a typical example of detachment. He had everything enjoyable in the material world, but he left it. This means that detachment does not mean artificially keeping oneself aloof and apart from the allurement of attachment. Even in the presence of such allurements, if one can remain unattracted by material attachment, he is called detached. Pridelessness. When a devotee, in spite of possessing all the qualities of pure realization, is not proud of his position, he is called prideless. In the Padma Purana, it is stated that King Bhagirath was the emperor above all other kings. Yet he developed such ecstatic love for Krishna that he became a mendicant and went out begging even to the homes of his political enemies and untouchables. He was so humble that he respectfully bowed down before them. Yeah. The next thing here is detachment and pridelessness. Yeah, detachment. We have studied what is detachment. Anasaktasya visayan yata hamupayunjataha nirbandha Krishna sambandhi yuktam vairagya muchite. So yukta vairagya, real detachment, is connecting everything to Krishna. It doesn't mean that you give up your job, you leave your house, go to the forest. That is one way of being detached. That is one understanding of detachment. But even while floating on so much wealth, you can remain detached also. How? Nirbandha Krishna Sambandhi. Connect everything to Krishna. Yeah. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, there are so many examples of great kings, yet at the same time, they are pure devotees. Yeah. So this is called detachment. Real detachment is not just a show that you are being detached. Yes, that is Yukta Vairagya, and the other hand, that is Falgu Vairagya. So just like the Mayavadi sannyasis, they seem to be very detached. They live very simply. They eat only something that very simple, no taste, nothing, everything is plain. But although seemingly they are very detached, if they don't develop the attachment to Krishna, then what is the point? Because the whole point of being detached from the material world, material affairs, is to come to the platform of our attachment to Krishna. Yeah. If there is no rati or attachment to Krishna, then detachment in itself is just useless. Yeah. So while being detached, we have to develop also our attachment to Krishna. Yeah. Actually, it is happening simultaneously. When you just simply attach yourself to Krishna, so naturally one will become detached from the material affair. Yeah. So that's about detachment and pridelessness. Of course, pure devotee will remain humble. Yes. Atmaniksepa karpanye. So karpanye means remain humble. Yeah. Here, Srila Prabhupada gave the example of Bhagirath Maharaj. Yeah. If you go to your enemy and bow down and beg from your enemy, what can be more humble than that? Yeah. And especially being Kshatriya, normally you don't bow down in the front of your enemy. But here, Bhagirath Maharaj is showing the example of humility. Yes. And of course, like there are so many acharyas, you know. And if we study the Vaishnava Bhajan, uh, there are so many acharyas, especially Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Narottam Das Thakur, who wrote so many songs. And in many of these songs, they are mentioning that, oh, I don't have love for Krishna. I don't have love for Krishna. I have wasted my time. Yes, so that is the mood of a pure devotee. Just like Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami. Yes, he admitted in the Chaitanya Charitamrita in the beginning, he admitted that even he is more fallen than Jagai and Madhai. He said like that, I'm worse than Jagai and Madhai. Yet he wrote the whole Chaitanya Charitamrita. What a humility. Yeah. So, but their expression is completely genuine. We may sometimes say to other devotees, oh Prabhu, oh Mataji, I'm fallen. Give me the dust of your Holy Spirit. But do we really feel like that? But the acharyas, they completely feel that they are really, really fallen. Yes. So this is humility, yeah, pridelessness. And then great hope, a strong conviction that one will certainly receive the favor of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is called in Sanskrit asabandha. Asabandha means to continue to think. Because I'm trying my best to follow the routine principles of devotional service, I am sure that I will go back home, back to God. Yes. So great hope, meaning that yes, one day Krishna will give us his mercy, and finally we will attain the perfection. Yeah. So not only hoping, but we have to put on an endeavor also here. Yeah. And then the next one is eagerness for achieving the desired success. When one is sufficiently eager to achieve success in devotional service, that eagerness is called samutkanta. This means complete eagerness. Actually, this eagerness is the price for achieving success in Krishna consciousness. Everything has some value, and one has to pay the value before obtaining or possessing it. It is stated in the Vedic literature that to purchase the most valuable thing, Krishna consciousness, one has to develop intense eagerness for achieving success. Yeah. Eagerness or greediness in the sense of being greedy in the service of the Lord. Yes, Krishna Bhakti, Rasa Bhavi Tamati, Kriya Tamam Yadi Kuto Pilabhyate, Tatra Laulyam Abhimula Mekalam, Janma Kote Sukritayat Nalabhyate. So this is stated in the Padyavali by Srila Sanatana Goswami, that Tatra Laulyam Abhimula Mekalam. That is one way how to get the Bhakti Rasa, the taste of performing Bhakti. And that is Laulyam, means greed. Greed in performing Bhakti. Tatra Laulyam Apimulam Ekalam. He mentioned Ekalam. This is the only way. Janma Koti Sukritayam Nalabhyate. The Bhakti Rasa, the taste of performing Bhakti, cannot be obtained by Janma Koti Sukritayam, by accumulation of pious credit from millions of lifetimes. Yeah, but of course, that is one of the factors. But the main thing is that we have to develop our eagerness. Yeah, eagerness. There was one incident when Srila Prabhupada was having a walk, and then he saw a group of swan. Yes, a group of a swan. I think it was a duck, a group of ducks. And Prabhupada told his disciple, give them Mahaprasadam. Yes, and then there was one duck from behind, just rushed to the front as soon as he saw the prasadam, yes, being thrown in front of all these ducks. And Prabhupada said, yes, this duck is very eager, so he will get all the mercy. So similarly, whenever there is a chance to serve, we as devotees, we have to come forward. Yes, we have to come forward. And that's also based on our capacity in service. If we are able to do some service, so come forward to do the service. Yes. So eagerness is the price, as Srila Prabhupada mentioned here, is the price by which we can buy pure love of Godhead. Yes. Attachment to the chanting of the holy name of the Lord. In the same Krishna Karnamrita, there is another statement about the chanting of Radharani. It is said by one of the associates of Radharani, O Lord Govinda, the girl who is the daughter of King Rishabhanu is now shedding tears, and she is anxiously chanting your holy name, Krishna, Krishna. Yeah. Eagerness to describe the Lord's transcendental qualities. Attachment for chanting the glories of the Lord is also expressed in the Krishna Karnamrita as follows. What shall I do for Krishna, who is pleasing beyond all pleasurable conception and who is naughtier than all restless boys? The idea of Krishna's beautiful activities is attracting my heart, and I do not know what can I do. Attraction for living in a place where Krishna has his pastimes. Pure devotee of Lord Krishna resides in the district of Mathura or Vrindavan and visit all the places where Krishna's pastimes were performed. At these sacred places, Krishna displayed his childhood activities with a cowherd boys and Mother Yasoda. The system of circumambulating all these places is still current among devotees of Lord Krishna, and those coming to Mathura and Vrindavan always feel transcendental pleasure. Actually, if someone goes to Vrindavan, he will immediately feel separation from Krishna, who performed such nice activities when he was present there. Yeah. Such attraction for remembering Krishna's activities is known as attachment for Krishna. It is said by Rupa Goswami that the attachment exhibited by pure devotees for Krishna cannot possibly be perfected in the hearts of fruitive workers or the karmas or mental speculators, because such attachment in pure Krishna consciousness is very rare and not possible to achieve even for many liberated persons. There are many so-called devotees who artificially think of Krishna's pastime known as Astakalya Lila. Sometimes one may artificially imitate this, pretending that Krishna is talking with him in the form of a boy, or else one may pretend that Radharani and Krishna both have come to him and are talking with him. Such characteristics are sometimes exhibited by the impersonalist class of men, and they may captivate some innocent persons who have no knowledge in the science of devotional service. This imitative attachment can be divided into two headings, namely shadow attachment and para, transcendental attachment. If someone, without undergoing the regulative principles of devotional service or without being guided by a bona fide spiritual master, shows such imitative attachment, this is called shadow attachment. And if by manifestation of such shadow attachment one feels the disappearance of all material things, then it is called para attachment. Such shadow attachment or para attachment can develop if one associates with a pure devotee or visit holy places like Vrindavan or Mathura. And if an ordinary man develops such attachment to Krishna and fortunately performs devotional activities in the association of pure devotees, he can also rise to the platform of pure devotional service. As attachment can be invoked by association of pure devotees, so attachment can also be extinguished by offenses committed at the lotus feet of pure devotees. To be more clear, by the association of pure devotees, attachment for Krishna can be aroused, but if one commits offenses at the lotus feet of the Lord, at the lotus feet of a devotee, one's shadow attachment or para attachment can be extinguished. This extinguishing is like the waning of the full moon, which gradually decreases and at last becomes dark. One should therefore be very careful while associating with pure devotees to guard against committing an offense at their lotus feet. Okay, so these are the 9 symptoms of Bhava Bhakti. Yeah, so Srila Prabhupada gave the example and nice explanation of each of these 9 symptoms of bhakti and nine symptoms of Bhava Bhakti. And toward the end of the chapter, Srila Prabhupada also explained that how to get this ecstatic love for Krishna. And gradually we can achieve the Prema Bhakti or pure love for Krishna is by Sadhu Sangha. But then while having the Sadhu Sangha, we have to be very careful not to offend the devotees lotus feet. Yeah, because by nicely associating with devotees, we can get Krishna Prema, but at the same time, if we are not careful while associating with the devotees, we can destroy also the Bhakti Lata. Yeah, but of course, Bhakti is eternal. Yes, what does it mean when Bhakti is being destroyed here mentioned? Because Bhakti is eternal. The understanding is that the advancement in Krishna consciousness is being checked when we commit, especially Vaishnava Aparat. So the advancement is being checked. So being checked in our advancement is as good as being destroyed because we are not going further. Yeah, so we must be very careful while associating with the devotees not to offend them. Yeah, so these are the 9 symptoms of a person who have developed the Bhava Bhakti. And interestingly here, Srila Prabhupada explained the 2 types of attachment. Yeah. Yes, there is shadow attachment and then there is para or transcendental attachment. What does it mean? How to understand this? So shadow attachment is just like this. You know, you met a great kirtaniya, for example. And then while he was doing kirtan, you may feel also the ecstasy in the kirtan. So this is called the shadow attachment because of the presence of that pure devotee. Yeah, may give you the attachment, but as soon as that devotee leave your association, you cannot hold on that kind of the same attachment that you feel while he is being present. This is called sadhu attachment. Yeah, for example, like your Guru Maharaj may visit your temple and then immediately you feel like so much in ecstasy, so enthusiastic performing devotional service. You have great attachment for Krishna at that moment. But as soon as he leaves, then you don't feel it anymore. Yes, this is called shadow attachment. Yeah. But para attachment or transcendental attachment is the attachment to Krishna no matter what happens, because you already have it within your heart, that attachment. Yeah, that raga, that attachment is already there. Yeah. And then now we will move to the next one. Next chapter is chapter 19. So after discussing about Bhava Bhakti, as we discussed in the previous class, that Bhava Bhakti is just one step away from Prema Bhakti. So now, after elaborately knowing what is Bhava Bhakti, Srila Rupa Goswami explained in this chapter, Prema Bhakti, and the means of attaining it described. The development of Prema is the development of Prema is a gradual evolution, beginning with Shraddha. Here we will see the 9 steps from Shraddha to Prema. Yeah. When one's desire to love Krishna in one's particular relationship becomes intensified, this is known as pure love of Godhead. In the beginning, a devotee is engaged in the regulative principles of devotional service by the other by the order of his spiritual master. When one thereby becomes completely purified of all material contamination, they develop an attachment and taste for devotional service. Okay, so we have to analyze here first Shraddha, yeah, Shraddha, and then Sadhu Sangha. What happened in Sadhu Sangha? One is engaged in the service of Lord, called Bhajana Kriya. And then here, when one thereby becomes completely purified of all material contamination, that is called the Anartha Nivritti. There develop an attachment and taste for devotional service. Yeah, this is called Ruchi. Yes, Ruchi or taste. This taste and attachment, when gradually intensified in the course of time, becomes love. Yeah, so from anartha nivritti, after all the anartha is being destroyed, yes, material contamination is being destroyed, and then comes before ruchi, that is called anartha bhajana kriya, anartha nivritti, nistha. Yeah, nistha means fixed. Nistha means fixed, or one becomes attached in one particular service. After nistha, then comes ruchi. After ruchi or taste, one develop the attachment to Krishna or attraction to the service with Lord. This is called asakti. Nistha, ruchi, asakti, bhava, ecstatic love already manifesting within his heart, and then prema, and then pure love. Yeah. The word love can actually be applied only in relationship with the personality of Godhead. In the material world, love is not applicable at all. What goes on under the name of love in the material world is nothing but lust. Yeah. So love in the material world, as Srila Prabhupada mentioned here, nothing but lust. Just like milk being touched by tamarind, it turns into yogurt. Yes, looks the same color, same product, milk, yes, yogurt, but the taste is different. Yes, so that is love and lust. That is the difference. That is the difference between prema and kama. Yeah. Ecstasy, ecstatic love of Godhead, can be potently invoked simply by following the rules and regulation of devotional service as they are prescribed in the scriptures, under the direction of a bona fide spiritual master. In the 11th canto, second chapter, verse 40 of Srimad Bhagavatam, this ecstatic love, born of the execution of regular devotional service, is explained. A devotee, in the course of executing the regular principles of devotional service, develops his natural Krishna consciousness, and being thus softened at heart, he chants and dances like a madman. While performing chanting of the holy name of the Lord, he sometimes cries, sometimes talks wildly, sometimes sings, sometimes, without caring for any outsiders, dance like a madman. Yeah. Ecstasy, evam vrataswa priyanama kirtya jatanurago drutachitta uchaiti. So priyanama kirtya. When a person completely in ecstasy chanting the holy name of the Lord, priyanama kirta, that the holy name of the Lord becomes very dear to him, priyanama kirtya. Jatanurago drutachitta uchaiti. Hasatyado roditi rauti gayati. Sometimes he sings, sometimes he roll on the ground, cry, roar very loudly, Unmadavan Nrityati Lokabaya, and he doesn't care of others' opinions of him in the world. Yeah. So that is the symptom of ecstasy. The Lord's extraordinary mercy, when a devotee is found to be always associated with Lord in ecstatic love, it is to be understood that such a position has been awarded by the Lord himself out of his causeless extraordinary mercy. An example of such extraordinary mercy is given in the 11th canto, 12th chapter, verse 7 of Srimad Bhagavatam, wherein Lord Krishna tells Uddhava, the gopis in Vrindavan did not study the Vedas to achieve me, nor had they ever been to holy places of pilgrimage, nor did they devoutly execute any regular principles, nor did they undergo any kind of austerity. It is simply by my association that they have attained the highest perfection of devotional service. Well, of course, whoever associating with Krishna, the Supreme Lord, will automatically develop love for him. Yeah. And reflect back to the previous slide, it is mentioned that how to attain this ecstatic love is by executing the sadhana bhakti very rigidly. Bhakti performed under rules and regulation, under the guidance of the spiritual master. That is sadhana bhakti. So that is hope for all of us here, the sadhakas, that one day we may attain the ecstatic love for Krishna. Spontaneous attraction to Krishna, which is said to be due to the extraordinary mercy of the Lord, can be placed under two headings. One is profound veneration for the greatness of the Lord, and the other one, and the other is one's being automatically attracted to Krishna without any extraneous consideration. So this attraction to Krishna, of course, there are two types. Yes, one out of our knowledge of Krishna's opulence, Krishna's greatness, and the other is simply just like that. Just like the residents of Vrindavan, they love for Krishna because they just love Krishna. They have this love for Krishna within their heart, without knowing how great Krishna is. Yeah. They just love Krishna like that. But the devotees outside Vrindavan, they need to know Krishna's opulence, Krishna's vibhuti. Therefore, if we come back to our study in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 10, one of the reasons why Arjuna is asking Lord Krishna to show his vibhuti or his opulences, in order to, as Srila Prabhupada explained in his purport, in order to attract the conditioned soul. When we know how great Krishna is, then we can really appreciate those qualities and gradually develop our love for Krishna. Just like Prabhupada gave the example, just like a boy falling in love to a girl. Yes, the more good qualities he found in a girl, yes, either by hearing or by seeing, so the love that the boy has will become magnified. Yeah. So now this is for the devotees outside Vrindavan. But for those devotees in Vrindavan, they just born naturally with love for Krishna. Even after Krishna shows his opulence, they don't feel that, oh, Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. No. Whenever Krishna kills demon, they think that, oh, it is not Krishna who kills the demon. It is just Lord Narayan killed the demon. Yes. So that is the difference, yeah, of the residents of Vrindavan and the devotees outside Vrindavan. Yeah, devotees outside Vrindavan is actually mostly full of awe and veneration. Yes, but in Vrindavan, devotees are completely free to do anything to Krishna, and they have great love for Krishna. Yes. Association with pure devotees. Although many different processes for developing love of Godhead had been explained so far, Srila Rupa Goswami now gives us a general description of how one can best achieve such a high position. The beginning of ecstatic love of Godhead is basically faith. There are many societies and association of pure devotees, and if someone with just a little faith begins to associate with such societies, His advancement to pure devotional service is rapid. In the next stage, under the guidance of the spiritual master, the devotee executes regular devotional service. And as a result of such activities, he becomes freed from all unwanted occupation. When he is freed from unwanted occupations, his faith becomes steadily fixed, and he develops a transcendental taste for devotional service, then attachment, then ecstasies, and in the last stage, there is pure love of Godhead. These are the different stages of development of pure love of God. Only the most fortunate persons can achieve such success in life. Those who are simply academic students of the Vedic scriptures cannot appreciate how such development takes place. Okay. So in the last chapter, finally, we see how Srila Rupa Goswami explained what is pure devotional service, pure love for Krishna, and how to attain it. Over and over again, we see Srila Prabhupada emphasizing on association with pure devotees. Yes, because it is true. By associating oneself with pure devotees, we also become pure devotees. Yeah. Whether any questions or comments? From the beginning, yeah, from chapter 1, if you have some questions, or you would like to contribute, giving your comments on what we have studied. And as Srila Prabhupada mentioned toward the end that only some fortunate people, yes, who are seriously practicing devotional service under the guidance of spiritual master in a good association can one day attain pure love of Godhead. The study of the Vedas may give us a lot of information, but when it comes to love of Krishna, Bhakti, it can be experienced only through sincerity and can be achieved by the mercy of Krishna and his pure devotees. We cannot attain pure love of Godhead simply by studying the Sastra. But having said that, studying the Sastra has great importance while being a sadhaka who try to develop this love for Krishna. Yes, because all this transcendental information that we come across, it's actually help us to guide us in general and fix our consciousness. Yeah, so I'm not saying that studying the Vedas is useless. It is not, although that is not the topmost way how to attain the pure love of God. Yeah. Okay. Any questions or comments from the beginning, from chapter 1? If you have, you can express it now. Yeah, Ramesh Prabhu, go ahead.
I have some general questions related with the bhakti only. Prabhu, when we take the obeisances from seniors acharyas, they doesn't allow they touch their feet. How can we see that?
Touching the feet, interesting. Yes. Actually, touching the feet is well, I mean, like sometimes some senior devotees don't allow, yeah, don't allow to touch their feet. Well, that is actually out of their humility. Yeah. Because when we touch the feet of a devotee and put on our head the dust of the feet, especially the advanced devotees, so we get all their mercy. Yeah, that purify us a lot. Yeah, but at the same time, sometimes they don't feel that, you know, they don't want to be touch their feet, and that is out of humility. Yeah, but in most of the cases, pure devotees always being merciful, they will allow and just give the mercy. So in this case, actually, we should not force.
Yeah.
Yes, we should not force. So one time I was traveling in one of the many villages here for ISKCON disciple course. So I was surprised, you know, like in a very remote village. Yes, in a very remote village. Villagers are very simple. the way how they received me, like with huge kirtan. Yes, with huge kirtan, and they throw flowers over me. I was feeling like embarrassed actually, because I feel that I'm not deserved. And then when they have like very beautiful temple, simple but beautiful, and they give me the achamana and handed me a plate of full of dip, yeah, full of fire to be offered to the deity. So I did that. And after that, they requested me to sit uh, on a chair. Yeah, nice decorated chair. Looks like Vyasa-san. They asked me to sit. I was like, okay, now what? Sitting. And then what happened? They bring a bucket of water and a big bowl and ask me, please, to wash my feet. I was like, no, 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 no way. This is way too far. I rejected. Yeah, I rejected. But then one Prabhu, the organizer said that, oh, Prabhu, they are very simple villagers. They are very sincere devotees. Just one time, Prabhu, I said, Prabhu, I never done this in my life. I never done this in my life, and I will not do this in my life. And then this devotee just begging like anything. And then finally, well, what to do? Okay, I agree. So they wash my feet. And what I remember at that time, I just simply meditate on my spiritual master in Srila Prabhupada. If this is the way how they get the mercy, so let the mercy flow from Krishna through Guru Parampara. I'm not at all qualified. I'm not at all pure that they have to wash my feet, but they have requested me like anything. Okay, so I already rejected. I didn't want it, but they, like, so in this way, because I heard also some devotees said that, oh, if you allow them to touch your feet, then you also, all the credits of your sadhana bhakti will go to them, and then they may also get, you may also get their karma. That was, I was told. Yes, but in such kind of situation, what to do? Yeah, because this devotee said, oh, they already prepare everything, and you should not disappoint them. Then what to do? Yeah. So like that, just pray to Guru Parampara and Krishna. It's not me who give the mercy, but the Guru Parampara. Yes, sometimes out of humility and feeling reluctant, some senior devotees, they don't let their feet to be touched. Yes. But sometimes they allowed also that, okay, if those who are sincere, then yes, why not? Yeah, like this.
Thank you.
But here is one thing that I always remember, that if this sinner devotee already expressing that they don't want to be touched at their feet, so we should understand also that we should not force actually. That will make them feel uncomfortable.
Comfortable.
Yes. So just
Yes.
like that. Yes.
Okay.
One day also, during the Vyasa Puja of His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj. Yes. So now after the glorification, so now it will come Guru Puja. So in Vyasa Puja day, so the spiritual master will be seated on the Vyasa-san, and the disciple will perform the arati. And then Maharaj said, no, don't perform arati to me. Instead, I will do the arati to Srila Prabhupada. You see, of course, we all know like the mood of His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj. I'm not putting insignificance to any other gurus in ISKCON, but seeing the example of His Holiness Radhanath Swami is like, it's always touching the heart. And whenever he gives classes, actually, most of the time, he talks about humility, about being humble, things like this. That's actually describe his own character and personality. So he refused that his disciple offer arati to him. Instead, he said, I will offer arati to Srila Prabhupada. Yeah. So like that.
Okay. One more question.
Yes.
The relation between a spiritual master and disciple, how can we see that? Like just like Krishna and a devotee,
Mm.
in terms of association also, in terms of performing sevas, in
Mm.
terms of taking the instructions.
Yes. Very good questions. Yes, as disciple, of course, we have learned from the Bhagavad Gita that Tadvidi Pratipatena Pariprasnena Sevaya. Yes, we have to be submissive. We have to be very eager, and we have to serve sincerely. Sevaya. Yes, sincerely serving the spiritual master. So as disciples, we have to keep our boundary also, not to cross the line of being too familiar with the spiritual master. Being close and being familiar is different. Yes, everybody should have close connection with his guru. Yes, but not too familiar, because familiarity will lead us to commit guru aparat. Yeah, being too familiar is not good, but everybody should have close relationship with his spiritual master, whether through Wani or Wapu. Yeah, but being familiar is not at all advice, because you may forget. You may forget, and you may sometimes, being too familiar with the spiritual master, you start cracking some jokes with your own guru, and this is not at all good symptoms. Yes, if the guru cracks the joke, that is fine, but we should not start the joke, yes, out of familiarity. So how we should assess ourselves? Well, we should always be conscious of our position as disciples, and the guru also like that. Not only the disciple, but the guru also, sometimes he has to keep some boundary. Yeah, sometimes he has to keep some boundary to the disciples. Otherwise, if too close also, then disciples sometimes may control the guru, of telling the guru what to do. I have seen this incident. Yeah, oh no, it should be like this, Guru Maharaj, it should be like this. If your guru is asking for advice or suggestion, you can do. Yeah, but not in the mood of you are controlling your guru, because I have seen such incidents. Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhu. Very nice.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhu,
All right.
regarding the essay, Prabhu, second,
Mm.
we have some doubt here how to put the essay. We have can I read for the essay, Prabhu? Describe in your own words with reference to Prabhupada's statements in chapter 10 of Nectar Devotion, the appropriate attitude towards suffering in one's life. Discuss with relevant personal examples how development of this attitude can help you deal with suffering in your life. Personal application.
Okay.
Little bit,
So this
kindly.
essay, yes, this essay should not cross 800 words, should not less than 600 words, first of all. And second, you just focus on what the question asks. Okay. If the question is clearly mentioned chapter 10, so don't go beyond chapter 10 of the Nectar of Devotion. You can find some quotes that relatable to you. It's actually basically it's focusing on the prayers of Lord Brahma in the 10th canto, chapter 14, Tate Nukampam Susamik Samanu verse. That what is the attitude of a devotee when suffering comes? We should think that, okay, it is due to Punjana Evat Makritam Vipaga. Because of our past misdeed, I'm suffering. But because I'm trying to be Krishna's devotee, then although I get the miseries, but Krishna already taken it 99%. I just get only 1%. If I'm not devotee, I could get more miseries. So you can tell your own experience, because being suffering in the material world is always being experienced every day, isn't it?
Yep.
Then how you deal with the suffering? Well, while performing devotional service, what will be your attitude? That's you express in your AC. And then how this verse or this chapter in the 10th chapter of Nectar of Devotion can help us to remain focused in our service to Krishna. So based on 10th chapter and your own experience, despite of many sufferings may come to your life, you remain devotee. Because writing is essay sometimes, not only to show your academical, intellectual, but because we as teacher also, we want to see different experiences from different devotees. It's not just philosophical things. You may experience one thing, others may experience different thing. And how you deal with your problem, how others deal with their problems may different. But the point here is that despite of anything happen, you just remain in Krishna consciousness. Why?
Home
You
faith.
give the reason. Yes. So like that. Yeah.
That's good. Thank you very much.
All right. So this is our last meeting, I believe, for Nectar of Devotion. And